This is Justin, Devin, and Mark with Interactive ATV Trail. Finished up the Stansbury Front Trail. It's not easy.
Nope.
It's not easy at all.
Very difficult.
Very, very difficult. I want to preface this review by saying that before we came out here, we watched a lot of videos on YouTube about this trail, and a lot of the videos that you'll see are them just riding through pasture, gentle curves, gentle switchbacks, not steep, not rocky. Because of that, we thought we were getting into a pretty easy trail, one that we could accomplish, do the whole length of, 25-mile length in about 2 hours, and, we'd have a great time. That was not the case. We rode it from the north all the way to the south, and it's the most difficult trail we've ridden to date. And we've ridden hundreds of miles of trails. This is by far the most difficult for various reasons. Because it's long, it's steep, it's rocky. There are large ruts, large roots, tons of really sharp technical switchbacks. It has it all. It really does. And for that reason, I would say that this is the best, if not one of the best, single tracks in northern Utah. Like I said, we started at the north end. Now, the way we did it, and this is the way we suggest that you do it as well, because it's so long and so technical, you have an escort that drops you off at the north end at West Canyon, and then you ride the whole length, and that escort meets you down at the south end. That way you don't have to go all the way back, because from what we can tell, our opinion is that going south to north is much more difficult than going north to south. Yep. So if you want to do this trail, do it from the north and go south.
Just be advised that if you're planning on making some phone calls or anything, the guy that's sitting at the south end on Big Willow Road is where the trail comes out. There is no cell service there, so make sure that you've looked at the trail, you know where you're going to meet, and that you coordinate that all in advance, because there is no cell service here. You have to drive about 2 miles to get cell service.
Now, there is cell service on all the summits that you go up. We got service, but like Mark mentioned, that your escort's not going to have service. So plan on at least 4 hours to do this trail from north to south.
If you're experienced.
If you're experienced, and I also want to say, you don't want to do this trail if you do not have hundreds of hours of seat time. You're not going to be able to do it. You're going to bail out at Davenport Canyon, and that's your first bailout from West Canyon. A year ago, we tried riding this trail. Mark was on a Suzuki DRZ 400, huge dual sport bike. It was not made for this trail. So if you have a dual sport bike and you think you can come out here and do it, I wouldn't even try it, because you're just not geared right. There are so many steep descents and steep hill climbs that you're just going to be working that clutch the whole time, and you're never going to be low enough really to slow your bike down. You're going to be walking it down like we did.
Yep.
With your bike a lot of the time.
Well, it's just going to wear you out too. I mean, that was, I think, a lot of the incidents we had where we had wrecks or layovers. We were getting tired.
Yeah.
We just done some really intense hill climbs, and they wear you out.
This ride will absolutely wear you out. It will test your endurance. So if you really want to come out here and do it, train for it, just like you train for a marathon. Go out there, build up your cardiovascular, your stamina, your leg strength. I mean, my legs, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
My arms are killing me. My legs are tired. I'm shaking. We don't want to overstate it, but it really is a hard trail. Probably the most difficult section is between North and South Willow Canyon. Would you say?
Yeah, that was pretty tough. And then after south,
that's right.
It gets really. There's more of the pine trees that have grown, and the root systems are pretty deep.
Yeah.
There was a couple we got hung up on, and it's tough to get going again.
It is. You got to rock your bike back and forth to get traction. Put weight, sit on the very back, and just feather that clutch. You don't want to spin out because you're going to tear up the trail, but you're also just going to dig yourself deeper.
And then Box Elder, I think that the downhill side was at Box Elder Canyon. It was really steep and loose rock. It wasn't big rocks. It was just a lot of loose stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where I ate it.
Yeah. Tore up your knee, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much front brake.
Yep, my wrist is killing me. It took a pounding today. I heard it a few weeks ago, and it did it in. But once you get farther south, once you get through the North Will, the South Will, the Box Canyon, the final descent down to the trailhead, the southern trailhead, it levels out a bit. It's still pretty rocky, and there's some neat switchbacks and such, but it's still pretty technical. Mm-hmm. There really isn't a section of this trail that is easy. It's all very difficult. I would say of the 25 miles or so, there's only maybe 3 miles of smooth trail.
Yeah, if that. Honestly, if there's even that much.
Yeah. So I think overall our impression of the trail is it's very difficult. Don't try it unless you're experienced. You got a lot of hours of seat time on your bike. You've practiced balance. That's the other thing I struggled with, is slowing down through the tight switchbacks. I would lose my balance, or going through the real rocky sections, I'd lose my balance, or the front tire would glance off a rock, and I'd lose balance and fall over. So practice balance, practice body position. This trail will test your body position. It will test your balance. It will test your throttle control, your clutch control, your brake, front and rear brake. It will do all that. So it will improve you. I felt like coming out of it, I was a much better rider.
Yeah, I learned that I had to squeeze the bike with your legs, and it'll take a lot of pressure off your arms. You don't get arm pump quite as quick. You can go a lot longer, especially on those hill climbs. You can squeeze the bike and lean forward, and you're not really pulling with your arms to keep yourself on the bike. So that was one thing I really learned that started to help me out.
Absolutely, and also point my toes in. By pointing my toes in, I was able to put more. My knees were inverted to put more pressure on the bike, so I could maintain that connection with the bike. So I started doing that more. My legs were wide open at the beginning, and like you, I learned to, foot position, change my foot position, change my knees, grip the bike a little bit better.
So once again, share this information with your friends, and check out the trail marker and the website, because I think we're out here, the goal of Interactive ATV Trails is to give you the perspective of motorcycles, four-wheelers, and hopefully we'll do some side-by-side stuff. But our goal is so you can go out and have fun and not get in trouble and hurt yourself or have a bad experience.
If you haven't visited the desktop version of the website, please do, because that's where you get the full functionality of our interactive maps, where you can click on points on the map that reveal photos, videos, and also trail notes. This is valuable information because it places you exactly where that video was shot. You can know exactly what the trail conditions are like. Like I mentioned earlier, we were deceived. We thought that the Stansbury Front Trail was a relatively easy trail and that we were going to bust through it real quick and just have a great time. We wouldn't get hurt or anything, but that wasn't the case. It's very hard. We're both banged up. Knees hurt, wrists hurt, legs hurt, everything hurts. But that means we had a great time. In my opinion, that means we had a great time.
I don't know that I want to tackle it anytime soon.
No.
It'll be a while before I tackle it again.
I suppose it's like women giving childbirth. They got to wait a while before they're up for it again. And so I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah.
Give it a year or two when the memory is faded and I've forgotten a lot about how really difficult this trail is, and I'll come back and do it again.
Yeah.
But this is our review of the Stansbury Front Trail. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. And in summary, we feel like this is a very difficult trail, and don't try it unless you're experienced.